Ferraris, 2 Bentleys, a brand new Rolls. Not exactly the cars you'd expect to see in the driveway of the guy who used to pump your gas. But when an Indian immigrant traded his small village for Big Apple ambition, he managed to turn a single service station into a billion-dollar behemoth. Meet Harry Singh.
What's going on? My name is Harry Singh. I'm the president of Bolla Oil Corp. I'm a company of convenience stores in Long Island, New York.
Taking care of some deep cleaning, store's doing good.
I started this company from 1 gas station, 4 mechanics, 2 cashiers, 6 people, and I grew this company into now a billion-dollar company just in 25 years. Good job.
Over the last 5 years alone, Bolla Oil Corp has made combined revenues of $3.3 billion. Yeah, billion with a B.
No, I did not have a dream that I would ever be a millionaire.
And how could he, when he started out with next to nothing?
I was born and grown up in a small village called Surampur in Punjab, India. About 1,500 people population, consists of all farmers. And I always had a desire to migrate to this greatest country of the world, in the United States of America.
So Harry scraped together $50, said goodbye to small-town farming, and struck out for New York City.
First day I landed here in the most famous city of the world, in New York. I was somewhat scared, but not knowing what I was going to do to make a living.
But guys like Harry don't let a little fear get in the way, so he kicked his job search into high gear.
I started driving a taxi, which I heard from people they were making good money. When I used to take my car for repairs, most of the repair shop you go to, you waited in the line to get your car serviced. There's always cars waiting to get work done.
While his fellow cab drivers saw an annoyance, Harry saw an opportunity.
So I decided to go to school to qualify as an auto mechanics. And once I'd done my certifications, I bought my first station in Brooklyn. This is the repair shop where I started working 25 years ago. Being a mechanic, fixing cars, getting dirty was no surprise to me, whatever it takes. I had to find a way to build a new customer base. I learned by cross-promoted. When people were shopping at us for gasoline, we give them coupons and promotions to bring them in to get their oil change done, get their brake job done, or get their tune-ups done, and it was successful. I brought home $76,000. That was my first year annual income. And we continued, saved whatever we could save from the business. I bought my second station, third station, fourth station. Within the first 5 years, I had about 8 sites, and I continue moving forward, doing very well and growing and building, buying new stations.
But a change in the auto repair industry threw a wrench into Harry's budding empire. Newer high-tech cars meant fewer breakdowns, and when they did need fixing, they went back to the dealer.
In 2001, that was one of the worst years in auto repairs for us. We lost 15% in the auto repair side of the business. When I first started, gasoline was never a main way making money for the business. The auto repair was the place that had made the most amount of money. We had to continue find those revenues. I was definitely very stressed, kind of put me and shook me up, and I don't know where to go from there. I went looking for another opportunity. So we started building convenience store in 2002. Because convenience store was a new thing, new offering on a gas station that had worked in other states. This station was consist of repair shop and auto accessories. This was no food, no coffee, or no snacks were sold here. Today, space that's basically made no money. Today, this space generates anywhere about $40,000 to $50,000 a monthly in sale.
But 50 grand a month is pocket change compared to Harry's big idea, opening his own fuel distribution center.
Bolla Oil Corporation was created in 2004, so we could have bought, purchased product at the best cost available in the market by becoming a wholesale distributor.
When you control every aspect of your business, low costs mean huge profits. Yeah, Harry's a pro at making money, but he's even better at spending it.
This is my home. Beautiful build, custom, 22,000 square feet. You can call it a house, you can call it a mansion. Grand Stairs, engineered and designed in the US and built in Spain and brought in one piece, all hand molded. We spend close to $1 million in the total stairways. The hand-carved fireplace that came from Italy. You have 20-karat gold leavings, artwork done on the walls. You look at some artworks that was done by very special artists that we brought across the world, have done our work in Rome, Vatican, restoring the Michelangelo work. Another special room in a house we call a formal party room, a beautiful bar, game room. This party room, we probably put in over $1 million plus building, furnishings, beautiful stonework. The second most important space in the house, this special secret room. That this car garage where I put my favorite 2 Ferraris and Rolls Royce, couple of Bentley. We basically designed this lift ramp for us, so which will allow us to put the car on the lift, take the cars downstairs, and park the 3 cars downstairs. So now 3-car garage basically become in a 6-car garage. I have enjoyed being successful. This country is a land of opportunities. I left my country to better my life, and I've been very pleased. I can't tell you how humbly I'm appreciated having that opportunity in this country to be what I am today.
Go hunting for black gold in the great state of Texas, and you might come up empty.
It's going to come down all the way.
But look for drilling rigs in desperate need of repair, and your cup will runneth over. Figuring that out made one mechanic a millionaire and earned him the title, the Don of Diesel. Meet Greg Hulett.
Let's see if we can get to work. I'm Greg Hulett. I'm a diesel mechanic by trade. I turned repairing diesel engines into a $1 million business. All of these should be the same height, and they're not. I'm the CEO of Mid-South Engine and Machine, and we provide industrial engine repair, parts and service on diesel engines. I think it's something to do with the EGR valve. You know, I laugh at people that think that I'm just a grease monkey when I look at my bank account. And that's a little arrogant, but I'm telling you, man, people they really don't understand.
There are hundreds of active oil rigs in the Lone Star State, but each one's only as good as its engine. When that breaks down, Greg's the guy to call.
When you see a derrick out in the air that's exploring for oil, this is the engine that powers that drilling rig. This is our bread and butter. Depending on what we find when we tear it down, the minimum would be about $65,000 and the maximum would be somewhere around $110,000. We'll take these all day long.
Yep, Greg makes big bucks off big engines. His motto, when you want a job done right and done lucratively, do it yourself.
We've been able to do things that other vendors have not been able to do for our customers. We try to perform every operation we can in-house. We don't like to outsource anything.
We should be good to be back up for production come Tuesday.
We also have a fabrication division where we manufacture parts for our business as well. And it's about greed. I want to make that money myself. I don't want to give it to somebody else. Last year, our gross revenues were just shy of $20 million.
That means with a profit margin of 20%, Greg pocketed roughly $4 million in 2014 alone. That's not a bad 365 days at the office.
Financially, I'm very comfortable and enjoy a lifestyle that many wish they had, but I worked hard to get here, and I'm not ashamed of how it happened. The early days, it was me, a 1985 Chevrolet service truck with an auto crane on it, and my blue heeler dog, and she rode in the front seat with me everywhere. The first 5 years, it was a struggle every week. We had to beg customers to pay us. It was hard to buy dog food for my old dog. My sales strategy was to be cheaper than everyone else. And then we found out that the way you get business is being better than everyone else. I met my wife, Karen, in '87, and at that point, I had not balanced the business checkbook since I had the account.
When I first saw Greg's checkbook, it was a shock. That's when I took over the checkbook, and to this day, I won't hardly let him write a check.
Oh, she's looking for Grammy. There's no way we would be where we were at now if it wasn't for Karen.
Greg might have started out with just a pickup and a blue heeler dog, but he's moved on to a whole lot more.
Now we're a fleet of vehicles, hundreds of thousands of square feet, and 120 employees. We've got material and equipment going offshore in the Gulf to California, West Texas, North Dakota, and it makes us proud to see those going out the gate. So many years, all it was work, 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. Now we don't have to do that quite as hard. And my lifestyle right now, I wouldn't change for the world. This is our home. If you move to East Texas and love the pine trees, you have to live in a log home. So we found a log home, luckily found one that had a shop space in the back. It's not really like it was when we bought it. When we moved in, it was 3-bedroom, 2,100 square feet. And now we're close to about 9,000 square feet. We added this great room. We added a formal dining space along with that. So when we have all the kids and grandkids here, everyone fits. All right, got some pork shoulder. Cooking's been a great part of my life. There's quite a competition with my siblings and I as far as cooking when we get together. So I had to add a kitchen that was better than anything else they had. So I've added a really nice chef's kitchen down there for me to play in.
This is a lot of good toys for a big old kid. Okay, we're about ready to serve some pulled pork.
Now, my favorite part of the whole property. I love music. I was starting to collect some memorabilia, and I needed a place to keep all this stuff. So I kind of presented that to Karen that I was just going to build a little garage with some space to have maybe a place to hang out in.
And Greg? Well, he wrote a few checks.
My labor of love, the man fort.
I thought I was going to have a heart attack. It's just never been good when he has free reign of the checkbook.
This is my boat, in the man fort. I still have to work, so I built a boat in the man fort where I can enjoy some time on the boat.
It's like being in the middle of the ocean.
We ended up buying a condo in the Gulf Coast. This is what it's all about. I don't think I've ever had a bad day when I woke up and saw the sun come up across the Gulf of Mexico.
But when Greg wants an amazing day, he watches the sunrise from the deck of his big-ass boat. And this one even floats.
I christen thee, no someday.
I never lose sight of what got me here, all that hard work, and I'll never discount any of that, but I'm gonna enjoy it now. I've known a lot of people through the years that said, someday I'm gonna move to the Gulf Coast, or someday I'm gonna go to cooking school, or someday I'm gonna buy a boat. Well, guess what? I'm not going to wait for someday because there's no someday. If I can do it now, I'm gonna do it today.
What a beautiful day it turned out to be.
Get a load of this junkyard collector. Wandering around, mumbling to himself, sifting through rusty scraps of useless stuff. I bet his house looks like this. It looks like this, and this, and this. Because this junkyard dog is actually a junkyard god. A powerhouse who's earned tens of millions scavenging and selling abandoned auto parts. And shame on you for thinking otherwise.
What one man might call junk, I call treasure. How much is this engine worth, Stoney?
Chevy 5.3 Ben Jack's about an $1,800 motor.
I'm Ron Sturgeon. I'm a junkyard expert. I used to own a chain of salvage yards, and it made me filthy rich. Somebody out there driving down the road needs this. It's a lucrative business, properly managed. It's a very interesting business model. When you could pay $100 for a junk car, sell the engine out of it for $150, and still have the rest of the car, that's pretty good business.
Good? More like incredible. Considering Ron eventually sold his empire for a whopping $23 million. That's a hell of a payday for a guy who started out practically homeless.
When I was a senior in high school, my dad died and left me a '65 Volkswagen, $2,000, and no place to live. I moved into a mobile home and started working on other people's Volkswagens. That was all I knew. I had to do something to eat. I accumulated about 35 junk cars that we were using to fix the other cars. The catalytic converters, we get a lot of money for those, don't we? Within weeks, I realized that I could make more money selling parts off the cars than I ever could working on them. Every week I would go to the salvage auction, buy a few more cars, drag them in, and we'd sell a few more parts. And it didn't take very long for the junkyard business to get quite big.
But collecting a big pile of parts is something any old junker can do. Figuring out a way to keep track of them, well, that's what put Ron over the top.
As we grew and we got more employees, it became obvious that we needed better methods of keeping track of what we had, because we had 4 or 5 phone lines at that point, 4 or 5 salespeople working on the phone lines, and they needed to be able to look a part up and see if we had it. In 1986, we put our inventory on the computer. The computers gave me a huge competitive edge. Computers allowed us to buy more cars, sell more product, so that we could grow even more rapidly to a whole new client base. Over the next few years, we doubled sales every year, and we grew to 6 locations, 150 employees, and $15 million in sales, with 30% net profit.
And when you're making that kind of cash, everyone wants a piece of you.
Ford came along and wanted to buy us. They paid about $15 million for the company.
But the only thing more impressive than selling your company to one of the world's biggest automakers
So do you think he's going to be willing to negotiate, or do you think we're just wasting our time?
is buying it back.
In the long run, it was a terribly bad fit for Ford. They ended up divesting the division, selling it back to me, and then I turned it around and made it profitable and sold it to another public company.
And selling his company not once, but twice has afforded Ron one hell of a life.
I always told him that the junkyards were a dirty business.
But what can I say? Made me filthy rich. How much am I worth? I got 1 million square feet of real estate. Arguably, I have more than I can spend. I've certainly got plenty of cars, and I've owned as many as 56, but today I own 12 exotic cars worth a couple million. My favorite car is the Lamborghini Huracan. It's the most enthralling car I've ever owned. My home is 10,000 square feet with a 10-car garage. It's worth $2 or $3 million. It's a wonderful place, and I love it. The real estate taxes on that house are $1,500 a week. This is my museum. Probably $5 million worth of toys. Well, we've got everything from boats to cars to dog toys. People say it's the repository of cool stuff. This is a shipbuilder's model. They would have made one of these. Today, a model like this easily worth $100,000. Here we've got a Jerome classic model car made from the 90s. Today worth about $35,000 and highly coveted by collectors. Okay, boys, jump in. Love the dogs, Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. Have 3 now. They've got their own room, their own door, and their own address. The joke around here is that I'm leaving everything to the dogs. I think maybe it has everybody scared. Where are we going, Daddy? You know, I feel really blessed at this point in my life, and I'm absolutely convinced the last third of my life is going to be the best. Headed down that road in an exotic car with the best woman in the world and my 3 Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. I couldn't be happier. Feels good to be a blue-collar millionaire.
If someone told you about a 26-year-old with a $20 million company, how would you guess he made his money? Created an app? Built a gadget in his garage? Invented some online something or other? Nope, not this guy. He made millions the old-fashioned way, learning a trade and doing it better than anyone else. And now he's on top of the world, or at least on top of a house somewhere. Meet Josey Parks.
Ready? My name is Josey Parks. Well, I'm 26 years old, president of Metal Roofs of Texas, where I install metal roofing, and we are a multi-million-dollar company. We've got a few key topics I want to go over. Number 1, Mark, we've got a few jobs we need to place orders on. Metal roofing is investment-grade roofing. It's made to interlock, and so it's a watertight roofing system rather than water-resistant. It's expensive, but if you're going to be in your home 5 years, 10 years, this is an awesome investment for you. Que pasa, fellas?
And there's another reason folks are willing to plunk down big bucks on metal roofing. Thanks to its ability to deflect the brutal Texas sun, they'll save a fortune on keeping their home cool.
Due to the weather in Texas, metal's tripled in the last 5 years. I think I'm in a good industry.
Yeah, the industry is good, but Josey's timing is great. He set up shop in 2009, just as demand for metal roofs was exploding, and finished the year with $2.8 million in sales. By 2014, that figure had skyrocketed to $22 million, an increase of nearly 800%. But it's no coincidence that homeowners specifically seek out Josey for their roofing needs.
The metal roofing business is booming now, and so there's a lot of products that are just manufactured for mass installation. The difference in our company and others is each piece is custom made to fit that specific roof. Our caps are made to the pitch of the roof. A lot of people don't do that.
It's a pride thing.
Yeah. Gotta adjust the angle a little bit.
And you know what else makes Josey proud? Being his industry's go-to guy.
Our manufacturers exclusively chosen Metal Roofs of Texas to install these roofs for Texas and Oklahoma, so that way they know every roof is being put on correct.
For Josey, Being at the top of his industry is a pretty amazing feat, considering just how hard he had it as a kid.
I had a very rough life growing up. My father passed away when I was 2. My mother was widowed with 6 kids. My mom married Lance, who's my stepfather, and he owned a print shop. I worked very hard as a child at that print shop, and I would go on the paper route with my dad. So, middle of the night, we're out throwing papers, and it was awesome though, because it taught me a lot of work ethic.
After high school, Josey landed a sales job for a metal roofing company, and he quickly rose to great heights.
My first year, I was top salesman for the company.
But guys like Josey are always aiming higher, and when fate put another ladder in front of him, he didn't hesitate to start climbing.
One day, I went out to a job site, and my crew didn't show up, and materials luckily were there. So I had an installation manual, and so I went out there and just started, putting the roof together.
Having tried his hand at every aspect of the roofing business, the only thing left was to be his own boss.
I started my own business, Metal Roofs of Texas. I started making money right away because I knew how to sell, I knew how to install. Customers loved the product that I installed for them, and so it was very easy for me to get referrals from the people I'd worked with. So after my first 3 months, I'd already done $1 million in business. You're doing good.
The rest is roofing history.
Year 1, I had 2 employees. Now I have over 100 workers, and the best is yet to come. I'm projecting in the next 5 years, we should be doing about 70 million is our goal.
And while that roofing success has provided Josey with plenty of cash, he still puts a ceiling on his spending.
Here you go. I'm very frugal with my money because the way I look at it, instead of buying things and wasting money, I can reinvest into my business so that way in the future I can have more and I can do more.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, man. Yourself?
Doing well.
But I do splurge money sometimes on my family. I'm looking for a push present. You heard of that?
Push present. So she's pregnant.
And yeah, very much so. Now having a wife and a son and one on the way, I'll do whatever it takes to provide my family the best at everything. The house that I purchased, it's about 4,200 square feet. It's a 4-bedroom house, 3.5 baths. Our dream home. This is my C63 AMG. It's actually my wife's car.
Josey may not be the flashy type, but a king still needs his throne.
This is one of my most prized possessions, something I fought very hard to bring into my marriage. This is a custom-made bullhorn chair, and this is another one. This is the wifey's chair. I bought her one too so she could have her own queen chair. It's just straight Texas is what this is. He's a daddy's boy.
Josey has a lot to show for only being 26, but one of his proudest accomplishments is living in an elite Dallas neighborhood that's covered in his handiwork.
I've got a couple roofs on this street. I remember driving in that area and I was 18. I was like, oh man, I would love to live in a house over here. I mean, it's such a beautiful neighborhood. This is an area I would have never thought at this age I'd be living in. Showing you that hard work equals success. It's awesome to see these. I love it. Here's one of mine right here. This is one you want to see. It's funny to hear this a lot. I've got a pair of shoes that's older than you. To me, age is a number, and so it's all about what you do with the time you have on this earth. And that's why I've always done a lot. Good job. Get that 5.